Good morning, dear students. Let's start our second part of chapter number 3, The Making of a Global World, History of class 10. In our first part, we have dealt with the pre-modern world in which we have seen Silk Route, food traveled from different place according to the travelers, conquest and disease and trade system. Now, in later 19th century, the second part of this chapter, during 1815 to 1914, some of the world had been changed dramatically because of economic, political, social, cultural, and technological factors were there. These all interacted in a complex way that to transform the societies and reshape the external relationship between each and everyone. Now, economists who were there at that time identify the three types of movements, or we can say as flows, within the international economic changes. The first is the flow of trade, which in 19th century referred as largely as trade in goods such as clothes, wheat. It is the first thing which the economists try to trade with each other. The second thing, the economists have been said that it is the flow of labor. It means the migration of people in search of employment have been done vastly during 19th century. Now the third movement for the economist is the capital of short term or long term investment for the long number of distance. The journey of the sailors have been discovered according to this. Now all of these three flows were closely interwoven or interrelated with each other and largely affect the people's life more deeply now than ever have been done before. So, a world economy, how the world economy has been taken place. Traditionally, the countries like to be self-sufficient in food, whatever the countries are there in earlier time, they are very self-sufficient according to the number of people living in that particular countries. Now, but in 19th century, the Britain self-sufficiency in food mean to be lower as they are having the high standard of life, and there was social conflict between the different class of people at their area. Now due to this also, and due to increase in the late century of demand of food grains, or we can say as the more number of factories have been open, industries are open, so the population growth rate is also increasing in Europe that time. So the food economy have been very insufficient during that time. The scarcity of food have been raised. Now as urban centers expanded, industry grew up and the demand for agricultural products went up, pushing up the food grains prices. Now, under this pressure from the landed groups, the government restricted the import of corn system. That this system has been imposed very effectively, that corn law has been taken out commonly. Now unhappy with the high food prices, industrialists and the urban dwellers forced the abolition of corn law during the corn law, which was made by the European government at that time. Now after the corn law were scrapped, food could be imported into Britain from more than cheap other countries which were under the Britain rule in a very cheap price, and it is produced within the country in the factories or the industries. Now all As there was fall in food price, the consumption in Britain rose due to this imports. Now import was there very cheap in rate, so the number of food grains are now very sufficient, and it is access. Now it is getting the access of food supply, and so the food supply amount is, or the prices of food is going down. So as the prices are going down, the consumption level is also increased. Now the higher incomes of and food imports in Britain lead to be faster industrialization growth. Now during this time, many of the British agricultural was unable to compete with this import. Now vast areas of land were left uncultivated because they are getting sufficient amount of food by the import system, and thousands of men and women were thrown out from the work of agricultural process. Now they have to flood to the cities area or migrated from the overseas from their own land in search of employment opportunity. As food prices fell, consumption in Britain also rose. From the mid 19th century, the faster industrialization had been discovered in Britain, and it's due to this the people's income is going higher, and therefore more food imports were done around the world. We can see Eastern Europe, Russia, America, Australia. These lands were cleared, and food production expanded to meet the British demand. Land were cleared for agriculture as well as for railways to transport these food material from one area to another, and it's directly linked to the agricultural region from to the ports. Now new harbors have been built and the old ones expanded to the ship cargo, and new cargoes were launched, new shipments or new ports were launched during this time. People had to settle on the lands to bring them under cultivation. Now role of technology we can say as railways, steam engines, steamships, as well as telegraph have been invented during this time, helped in transport of perishable goods, and such as meat, a luxury, become cheaper with the development of refrigerated transportation facilities. Now they are producing whatever they are producing in their factories. Now they are using this type of products in a for a future use. In canning process have been started, storing process have been started from these industrialization time period only. Now in late 19th century, the colonialism have been also started. Now whatever things or whatever means of technology have been introduced, this means the new number of settlements, people for home settlements, that buildings and many more things have been discovered, and all these activities required a capital structure as well as hard labor work. Capital was flowed from the financial centers such as London, the financial center who provide you the money among them, and the demand for labor in the places where labor was short in supply, as in America and Australia, as these were the new founded continent during the uh, Britain rule, led more number of migration. As you can see, many of the people who are the poor people and thrown out from their own agricultural land, or they were working for the as a labor in their agricultural land, want to have to be migrated for in search of their employment to another countries. Now in by the 1819, yeah, means 18th century, a global agricultural economy had been taken place and shaped properly. Now, accompanied by complex changes in labor movement patterns such as capital flow, ecologies, and technologies, food have no longer came from nearby village or town and but from the thousands of miles away, as they had to import the supplies. Now, it was not grown by the peasant tilling his own land. The peasants are not working, but and by an agricultural worker, perhaps recently arrived, who was now working on a large farm that only a generation ago had most likely to be forest. Now, during the industrialization, or we can say as in 19th century, starting of 19th and late 18th century, due to the industrialization, many of the forest had been cut it down for the agricultural land. Now, it was transported by the railway system built for that very purpose, and by the ships which were increasingly made in these decades by low paid workers. We can found low paid worker, or we can say slaves, brought from the southernmost part of Europe, most of the parts of Asia, Africa, and Caribbean countries. Now, some of these dramatic change due to these all migration, cutting down the forest, and many more things, true on a smaller scale or occurred closer home in the West Punjab of our country. It goes reaches to our country also during this. Now, the British Indian government have been built a network of irrigation canals. Got it? Irrigation canals to transform the semi-desert waste into fertile agricultural land area, and that could be grow wheat and cotton for the export purpose. And what they will do from these export, they will import and manufacture in their own industries and factories. Now, the canals colonies, as the areas irrigated by the new canals were settled by the peasants from the parts of Punjab in our country. And similarly, most of the cultivation of cotton expanded worldwide, as cotton is a basic raw material to produce a or to manufacture a cloth, proper cloth, which fed British textile mills, as they are having the industries over there. Now, between the 18th century to 19th century, trade system has been estimated to have multiplied up to 40 times more. Means, if earlier before 18th century, if the production is of one unit, it was increased to 40 units during this time period. Now, nearly 60% of these trade comprises primary products, which are basic products which we are using, that is agricultural product such as wheat, cotton, and minerals such as coal for steam engine and many more things. Some of the role of technology, we can say technology played an important role in all of these developments, such as railway, steam engine, or steamships have been developed. The telegraph system were important inventions without which we cannot imagine the transformation of today's world or the 19th century world. These technology has been advanced were often the result of larger social, political, as well as economic factors. Now, for example, colonialism duration stimulated new investment and new improved transport system had been launched, faster railway system, lighter wagons, and large ship help move food for more cheaply and quickly from one place to another and far away from the farms to final markets. The trade in meat is a good example of the connected process. Now meat is also transformed from one area to another as it was now used by the canning system and storing process. Now till 18th century, animals were shipped leave from America to Europe and then slaughtered when they arrived there. Now the slaughtered center have been more increased. Now domestication and the due to the eating habits of meat, now the domestic animals have been started as a slaughtered for the meat requirements of the people. Now live animals took up from the lot of big ships having the space, and some of them many of them animals were died during the voyage system, means transporting from one place to another, or fell ill or having the loss of weight or become unfit to eat as due to the climatic conditions of different areas. Now meat was hence more expensive and luxurious type of product when they reached to the European poor. Now high prices in turn kept demand and the production down until the development of new technology that was named as refrigerated ship. Now the refrigerator system like storing system had been developed, and now it is very easy to transfer the perishable goods or food items from one place to another for a long period of distance. Now animals were slaughtered for food at the starting point in America, Australia and New Zealand, and then transported to the Europe as a frozen meat. Got it? Now these reduced the shipping cost and lowered the meat prices in Europe as it was the stored in process. Stored meat have been relaunched over there. The poor in Europe could now consume more varied diet, and to the earlier monotony of bread and potatoes now could now added meat such as butter and egg to their diet. Earlier the poor people of Europe are only eating the potato or that some of the bread system because they are not having enough money. Now they were able to eat these perishable goods like meat. The poor of that better living conditions have been promoted the social peace in the country and support for imperialism abroad, such as you can see over here shipments were there, the storage house is there. Now in the Smithfield Club cattle show illustrated in London news in 1851, that newspaper, the cattle were traded at fairs. Cattle were brought from the different areas, brought by the farmer for sale. One of the oldest livestock markets in London, where the animals were sold for the domestication or for the meat requirements. In the mid 19th century, a huge poultry and a meat market have been established near the railway line and connecting the Smithfield at the all of the meat supplying center to the country, as you can see over here in this both the pictures. So from the second part of 19th century, late 19th century colonialism, we will deal in the our third part of this chapter, third part of video of this chapter. Thank you.